Hey everyone, how is it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music, and today we're talking about a brand new series called It Came from the Library. Now, the idea behind this was I love checking out new music all the time, and very often I will do that by streaming using, Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever. Now, I find when I'm streaming, it's a very passive listening experience. I don't have artwork I can hold. I don't have, lyrics sheets I can go through. Yes, I can look that sort of stuff up on my computer while I'm doing that. But generally speaking, when I am streaming, I'm not really trying to dive deep into this music. Now, on the other hand, we only have so much space. We only have, so much money to go around that sometimes you don't want to take a chance on something you haven't heard before because who knows if you don't like it, are you just going to be, out that money, out that space? So having fun isn't hard if you've got a library card. That's right, you can take out music and movies and books, believe it or not, from your local library. So I thought I would try this out, make a series of it, but not just take out any music. Take out the kind of music where maybe it's totally random, maybe it's something I've thought about checking out. There's something about it that intrigued me, and there's a little bit of all of that with these albums I picked out. So with that, went to my library over lunch break, picked out three CDs, and I'll kind of get into like why I picked each one out and kind of my general thoughts about them, ending with, am I going to check out more from this band? There's either, hard no, maybe I'll add them to my streaming list, check them out later. I appreciate what I found, but I don't necessarily need more. Or yes, I might need to go buy this now. So I picked out three albums. We'll go for the first album. This is Super Bloom by Mr. Wives. It's the library case, but there you go. You can see it there. This came out in 2020 on Fueled by Ramen Records, which is partly why I took it out. I am familiar with the name Mr. Wives. Could not have told you what kind of music they played. I was mostly right for my guess based on the cover and stuff like that. But what intrigued me is that they are on Fueled by Ramen Records. Very well-known record label, started out and then kind of had a lot of very influential pop punk bands on it. Started out as an indie label, kind of a boutique label that then kind of grew and grew and grew and grew until you get sort of almost by this point, being on Fueled by Ramen doesn't give you any indication of what kind of music you're getting on here. So what kind of music are you getting on here? You're getting very danceable pop rock, mostly pop, very danceable indie pop. Kind of think a bit of Paramore, a little bit Hayley Williams. Kind of think the Killers. That's what I would say. If you mushed the Killers and Paramore together, that's what you get on here. So right away, I think if that's something that you're into, you will really dig this. This is a lengthy album. It's also a concept album, which is kind of cool for a pop group to do. This is where the trouble begins. It's a concept album about a failed relationship, which is difficult because generally speaking, when pop artists are releasing albums, they are writing albums about relationships. So because of that, it's sort of hard to follow the trace and the track of the concept, the story throughout the album. If you're paying deep attention to the lyrics, you can see kind of the rise and fall. But say against, I don't recall the name of that album, but Neon Trees, who I think are also an apt approximation. Neon Trees, another kind of pop rock group, very danceable as well. I like them a lot. They put out an album, not their most recent, they just put out a new one. The one before that was a concept album about a failed relationship, but they had a lot of lyrical allusions and motifs that sort of repeated throughout and almost characters that kind of kept you into the story. This one, there's some of that there, but I found more and more generally speaking, it was just very fun, catchy pop music. So the trouble is partly as a concept album, it doesn't quite track, but it's also quite long. For this kind of music, it's enjoyable, but you're not going to listen to this all the way through. That's a lot. That said, there's a lot of catchy tunes on here. I find it's very front loaded. It's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, it kind of sags by the end. But I don't know if that's true or if it's my ears, the listening. But the first, I'd say like five, six, the first album's worth of tracks on here are really good. So, am I going to check out more of this band? I'm definitely going to add them to my streaming list. When I see they have a new track out, I'm going to check it out. but I don't think I need to buy anymore. But happy I gave it a listen. Now I know what Mr. Was are. And I think if you're into Neon Trees, Killers, Paramore, this is something up your alley to check out. The next, I knew one of their albums growing up. Never listened to them since. And I thought, yeah, let's check in on the boys. Let's check in on the Chemical Brothers. This is the album No Geography. It just has that. Sorry, this is the front, or at least this one there. And then the back, No Geography 2019. I would say 2019. There's a sticker covering up where I believe the year is, but I'm pretty sure it was 2019, maybe 2017. Anyway, Chemical Brothers, No Geography. It's EDM dance music. This is kind of a messy album. Like it's very, it feels like you're listening to the Chemical Brothers from an airplane. I don't know how I can best. It's not like fuzzy, like through fogged glass or something, but it feels a little like you're not quite connected to it. Like there are some really fun ideas on here and fun tracks, but I don't know. I just feel a distance from it. And maybe it's me. I don't really listen to a lot of EDM or kind of house like this. But generally speaking, I was familiar with the Dig Your Own Hole, I think was the album with, Block Rock and Beats. As far as I know, that was their biggest album to date. But I wanted to check out the Chemical Brothers, see what are they up to. And now I know. It's hard for me to give this like a solid rating because it's not really in my wheelhouse. But that said, I think there's dance music out there that I do like more than this and appreciate more than this. So I don't necessarily need to check out more of the Chemical Brothers. I took a visit. I checked in with my bros, and we're good. We're good. But this last album, oh, we're good. This was. I'm going to tell you, what I said I'd do it at the end. I'm going to tell you right now. This is something I need to buy. And I was curious. I was like, this cover looks familiar. Why does this cover look familiar? I was looking for a show idea I have. I was looking for, Baroque, I don't know, chamber, not ethereal, chamber pop, like chamber, not, and chamber pop in the way that like chamber music is, classical music meant for a small chamber, an ensemble, not necessarily like the folksy way. This is very like chamber pop, singer-songwriter, sad Chekhov kind of thing. And this is Aventine by, oh no, I forget their name, Agnes Obel, who's a Dutch singer-songwriter, I believe. And the reason this is such a familiar album for a lot of people when I looked it up online is because recently the song Fuel to Fire was featured in The Last of Us. I haven't seen that. It's about it's Mushroom Walking Dead. That's cool. And this is just fantastic. I need more of this artist's music. I need to buy this album. It's kind of how I describe it. It's not classical. It's, certainly neoclassical in influence, Max Richter and folks like that. Certainly all up in this business, but it's still singer-songwriter. The melodies and lyrics are very haunting and heartfelt and sad. If this sounds like something up your alley, do you like a few string instruments and a piano in a small, dark, candlelit room getting sad with their emotions? Yeah, check it out. I really like Dorian as a track and Aventine, the title track as well. It's all good. The Crawling is really good as well. The Curse was another single from this. I like it, but it's a little more, I would say it's probably one of the most accessible songs on the album. Probably why it was picked for a single. But Fuel to Fire is really good too. Words Are Dead might be one of my favorite songs on the album. Words Are Dead is really good. But that said, I will check out more of this. Streaming, purchasing, all that stuff. So let's go through these again. And I was pretty happy with the experiment, Super yes, check it out. Chemical Brothers, happy to check back in and visit, but I think I'm okay. And then Super Bloom by the Mr. Wives, which was fun. I really liked it. I do like, the upbeat indie dance pop, and they delivered on that. I think just the execution wasn't quite nailed as a concept album, and it was quite lengthy. But otherwise, I think this is actually a good album. That said, these were 3 albums I took out of the library, and I'm happy about that because doing that gives me the opportunity to really do an active listen, not a passive listening like I might do when I was streaming, but a really kind of deep active listening. And all these have their booklets too. I didn't really open them up to show you, but obviously, yeah, they're super bloom. You have your, your lyrics, your artwork, your personnel. You can read along. You can touch the music. It's tactile. It's a product. It's more engaged, I would say. And doing that, I think, gave me a better opinion and a better appreciation than maybe if I just decided, hey, I'm going to check out Chemical Brothers. What are they up to? And then I'd streamed it. Sure, maybe I would like it, maybe I wouldn't. But I think giving it that time and care, even if it was just taking something out from the library, it was a really library. It was a really good thing to do, and I'm excited to do this more as kind of a regular series because uh, it's not financially or space-wise dependent, which is great. And I think when I do come across something I really, really love, I can add it to the collection. But otherwise, it's just a really cool way to explore new music. So I'm excited to swap these in for something else pretty soon. So like, that's it. That's the video, and I'm excited to do more. So tell me, when was the last time you went to the library? You get yourself a library card. Take out some movies. Take out some video games. Take out some books. Um, some libraries have 3D printers. Mine doesn't, but there's a rumor that they do. But I emailed them to figure it out, and they said we don't know where the rumor is coming from. We think it's because the university library has one. Um, so get yourself a 3D printer is the moral of this video, and I will catch you next time.